impediment. I'm carry on viewing. I got 7, 10, and 12. I story what I left off. After my last playthrough, which was like 2 hours, nearly 3 hours, continue game. And yes, I will be continuing halfway through a story, so you will have to watch the end of my last video to understand this story. Because I will be completing this 100%. Or trying to. Loading screens. I'll be right back, guys. I just have to change my batteries from a cigarette.
Building in him. He felt ill. Could his knees really be aching this
Yes, I smoke a cigarette.
Handed the core off to Lupino. That was a recipe for disaster.
Why not? My philosophy is you can do whatever you want in life as long as you if you do no harm to any other person, do whatever you like. That's the sound's philosophy. Do whatever you like as long as you cause no harm to anyone else. Smoke weed as long as you don't harm anyone else. As you don't force weed onto anyone else. You don't don't steal for money for any habit. Don't steal. You don't rape anything. But if you wanna smoke, you smoke. If you wanna drink, you drink. Do whatever you want in life because you only live once. But don't harm other people. Don't name calling on out. Don't hurt any people in any way.
That was always a rush.
I might have a stupid ideology, and I'm very loud, but well, this is just a hateful place. Be so nicer.
Bernardo felt a little bad stealing crafting materials from chests. He preferred to rob them from people at sword point.
It's like I can't remember what I was saying. My brain stuttered.
Bernardo remembered when he'd first stolen one of these. Good times. Bernardo felt worse. All his joints were aching now. He'd been through beat. So the core had a kind of poison that could harm you without even touching you. That's new. Well, it had power. The rebellion needed something with power. And how was this any worse than a sword wound? Well, and fair. This was just squalid. Piecemeal death, like old age. The Nexus Observatory had some of the Empire's greatest scientists. If anyone could rig the core into a useful weapon, and even better, make it stop leaking poison, it would be them. To put a railing on this thing, he thought. Energy spheres. Easy to dodge, but boy do they sting if you didn't pay attention. Go, he thought.
Everyone can hear me or okay.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway. The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists everywhere. Bernardo found the mad rabbit cowering under a desk. The ravens, they must have known we were coming, said Lupino. How did you... Well, see, I was doing a card trick with my lucky deck, and I kind of bobbled the card, so I went under the desk to gather them up and boom! I guess we'll have to take the car straight to the secret base. The secret rebel base. Yes. They had engineers there. But wait. Calaveras, the sage in the mountains. Maybe he would know what to do with the naked core.
Let's do this one.
The core was killing him. He needed help. The sage, Calaveras, had given him the maps to find the armature and the core. If anyone knew the true name of the Transcendent Emperor, if anyone knew how to assemble the Sky Ripper, Calaveras did. If anyone could heal Reynardo and render the core safe, at least to its bearer, surely it was he. The base of the mountain was the only safe place for a landing. He would have to continue on foot, muscles aching. Calaveras was a scholar, not a doctor. Could he really save Reynardo from the poison radiating from the lost god's eye he was so recklessly carrying? They had to bury him in a bucket. Actually, several buckets.
For sake.
Reynardo wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
I hate this fucking game mode. Story.
Oh, this was not a fun way to die. Even if he survived. No one would write ballads about the fox whose knees ached forever, would they? Not unless he paid for it. And he hated paying for publicity.
I don't know what way I'm meant to go.
Imagine if you built a house on one of these things. That would be amazing. It would be like having a boat.
Fuck, man.
It was chilling walking through the living mountains. There was always noise up ahead. Insects, birds, the croak and flutter of ravens arranging ambushes. But close by, there was only the breeze and the trickle of melting snow. As if every living thing was holding its breath for his poisonous burden to move on. Renado's paws were getting... Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Ah, the road less traveled, thought Renado. How intriguing.
Oh. Dear Zimbabwe, do you remember that expedition I have sent to the depths beneath the islands? They have returned well. Three ships have returned out the aid and sent. Of course, I mourn the losses, but the knowledge the survivors brought back is invulnerable. What they have experienced is incredible. The air gradually goes dismal and more turbulent until it becomes suffocating. Oh my god, that's too much. Sorry guys, I tried.
Where Renado went next, we cannot follow.
Yeah. I must go to the die.
Ooh, sparkly, thought Renado.
What the fuck?
His mother had never let him wave his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that. Calaveras was a renowned scientist before he was forced into exile. Now he was practically the last scientist. And he was Renado's last hope.
That was a glitch and a half.
The core! Splendid! Croaked Calaveras. Where's the armature? Right, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't need it.
No, I don't. It's just a professional interest. We got...
But Recovery. Let's see what outlet set foot on every island of Boris.
Alex, the old TE ever did. So Calaveras was an arcane engineer. He fussed at the core all day. He wrapped it with silver chains, and in front of it, he placed a huge, round ruby, so that it looked like a monstrous, floating eye. So, what is it?
Yeah, I call it the oculum. It's my very first death ray.
And it won't poison me?
Oh, no, it's completely safe now.
Anything I should watch out for?
Yeah, try to avoid pointing at any mirrors.
As he loaded the oculum onto the Farfarer, Bernardo was a little concerned about Calaveras. People who were utterly sure of themselves, he had found, were either experts or horribly wrong. Or both. But Bernardo only needed to fire the oculum once. He only needed to destroy one ship. The Emperor's ship. And the war was over. Bernardo plunged into the Imperial fleet. He felt the oculum humming. He no longer felt sick. This was going to be fun. Or at least, it was going to be over.
Nice. No. Oh no.
Bernardo resisted the temptation to fire the oculum until the time came.
I'm just finding something to suck. Yes, I said
The
suck.
sage's wrappings. But it wasn't eating him alive. So that was a plus. He felt good about himself. He'd saved a friend, he'd helped the rebels, he lied on himself, but he'd listened to others. He felt like the right sort of hero. Wise, yet decisive. Calaveras had been so sure it would work. Maybe he could fire it just a few times. No harm in that, right? But only when he absolutely needed to. The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted.
That's money, yes.
Wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Sorry guys. And another one. Okay, I'm back. I'm ready to play.
Reynardo's arm was getting tired. The core was no longer eating at him, but he still felt weak. His stamina was shot. But he had the oculum. When the raven swarmed him, it would sometimes fire its death ray. It seemed to be warming up too, firing more and more often. Maybe we should let it cool off. Yeah, he decided to stop using it entirely. Renato wondered if he could learn to cook this way. Probably not. Building these platforms was so expensive, they'd run out of budget for guardrails. The oculum was still hot to the touch.
It smelled like a
He almost thought it was getting even hotter. Well, that was ridiculous, of course. Anyway, he'd only to fire it one more time, and then he could chuck the whole contraption into the abyss. And the Emperor's ship was now in range. Renato squinted. He could make out the line of ravens protecting the ship. Zenobia in front, conjuring. And on the deck, yes, that was His Imperial Majesty, pacing in his golden armor. Renato lined up his shot and fired. Caught in the beam, the ship burst into flames. The ravens and Zenobia exploded. The Emperor too exploded. Renato waited for the beam to stop, but it only got brighter, and the oculum hotter. Frantic, Renato pulled the oculum towards the abyss. The ruby burst into flames. The shiny metal casing glowed, then melted. That was good. Now the core could cool off, right? Renato ran. The blast incinerated him instantly, along with both fleets. The shockwave could be felt across all Erda. That winter, with neither Empire nor rebels to rule them, the island slid into banditry. And so began the Second Age of Darkness. But he'd learned another true thing. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
New story completed. Story 18. The fox whose knees hurt. What kind of hero are you? A hero who seeks balance, who makes wise yet decisive decision. New truth reveal: the Skyripper core is unstable. With reward, tier 4 skills unlock.
there would be a way to win. Renato could feel it. He'd have to explore choices he'd never made before he could figure it all out, though. And with that, the book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
I see him last time, so I'm doing this one.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces deep. And then, this Emperor's horrific sacrifices had brought it back to the surface. Renato wasn't exactly sure how to use the legendary weapon. But surely, there must be some way to do it without provoking another catastrophe. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the Earth? It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Renato could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Okay, I'm back, guys.
There was a cat in this one. And something useful. You couldn't go sticking jewels in your gauntlet just anywhere. What if you dropped one and broke it? Luckily, there was a bench right here.
Not one of them. I'm thinking, where did my friend go? Bob? Jeffrey? Why is that gate open? Oh, well, they wouldn't be able to see the gate open. But you know what I mean. But still, my point is, yeah, I've seen this door before.
I wonder what happens if I go that way.
I wonder.
There had to be a way to use the Sky Ripper without causing a catastrophe. Why? Maybe it's always dangerous, he imagines Zenobia saying. Always the voice of reason, that one. Well, there had to be a way to use the Sky Ripper because not being able to use it was boring. So there. Smashing things was fun.
And John goes through. Nice one. Oh, this is a nice big fat one. Be right back, guys. I'm still gonna be there, but I'll be right back playing on the game. Got a big night, but sweetie.
Once you try it, you're hooked.
Okay, I did not know that. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yeah.
Say goodnight, Gracie, said Renato, wondering who Gracie was.
Ah, a puzzle. Renato loved puzzles. Except when he couldn't figure them out. On the other hand, if there was a puzzle, it was probably meant to keep people away from something good.
There you go. Another puzzle solved.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate.
I don't know how long
No
I'm
one
gonna be
alive
on
had the
because
skill
I've
to
been
make a
up
thing
all
like it.
night.
How is it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. Still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
This other story that I'm heading off. Okay.
Renato asked himself why he changed course to confront Zenobia. He'd no idea. Sometimes he would just do things, and he could never figure out why he'd done them. Usually, they worked out. After all, he was a hero. The truth is, though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? It had been a dozen years since Swordfu School. He'd followed every rumor about her, every scrap of news. Not that he still loved her. After all, she was his enemy. No, it was solely because, know your enemy. All right, maybe he should stop pretending. He knew exactly how she felt about it. But their love affair always ended with a tragic death. Unless, maybe he could find a way to dodge tragedy. Surely he could, couldn't he?
Oh, my stomach feels like in tatters.
This was the nice part of town. But the Ravens had been through here.
They like to take shiny things home to their nests.
That's what people do. No, I think after this chapter I have to go with my stomach. I can't concentrate.
So that's what they meant by a firewall.
Nah, sorry guys, I'm off. I'm really sorry. I'll do this another time. Oh.